So the first thing we got to look at when we're talking about Khamzat Chimaev versus Israel Adesanya is the size difference. Khamzat Chimaev is 6'2" with a 75-inch reach, and Izzy is 6'4" with an 80-inch reach. Realistically, 5 inches, it's not the craziest thing. The thing is that Khamzat Chimaev is not going to make this a kickboxing fight. We all know the path to beating Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, he fucking exposed it. It is taking down Israel Adesanya. We all know you're not going to beat this guy in a kickboxing fight. When talking about the size difference between this guy, Khamzat Chimaev is huge for welterweight. A lot of people don't really realize how big and how strong Khamzat Chimaev is. Look at his training partners. His main training partner is Alexander Gustafsson, a guy who gave John Jones, arguably the greatest of all time when it comes to MMA, the toughest fight of his life. And Alex Gustafsson, he's a huge fighter, crazy long reach, and he's a heavyweight right now. And he is very competitive in the training sessions with these guys. But yeah, since we're talking about Khamzat Chimaev and the path to victory against Izzy is wrestling, let's look at what Khamzat Chimaev did to Jack Hermanson in a freestyle wrestling fight.
2 3-minute rounds. And here we go, a big throw!
Khamzat Chimaev absolutely manhandled Jack Hermanson in a freestyle wrestling fight. And Chael Sonnen said it best. He said that Jack Hermanson is as good as a grappler that you need to be in mixed martial arts. And also another very important thing to take into consideration is that Israel Adesanya has been taken down multiple times. In his last fight against Robert Whittaker had a 40% takedown accuracy, and Israel Adesanya, he's gotten his back taken multiple times in his UFC fights. I'm not saying it's a regular occurrence, but I'm saying it has happened. And against Khamzat Chimaev, you better believe it most likely is going to happen as well. If you think Khamzat Chimaev is not capable of taking down Israel Adesanya, you might have a concussion while you're watching this video. You know, Khamzat Chimaev, he tweeted out, easy money for me, 0 wrestling, 1 round, I'm gonna kill him. I don't think he would be able to beat him in 1 round. While Izzy's very fresh in the first round, he has excellent footwork, he's very good at evading attacks, but I really do think it's exactly like Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm not saying Khamzat is Khabib. I'm not saying he's as good of a wrestler and grappler as Khabib. He's his own fighter. He says that all the time. What I'm saying is that it's the same situation when you're fighting Khabib. You know, Khabib puts the pressure on guys. Look what he did to Justin Gaethje. Look what he did to the 29 opponents he has fought in his UFC career. He puts the pressure on them. He doesn't have crazy elite striking. Khamzat Chimaev does. He has 1-punch knockout power. He showed that in the Gerald Meerschaert fight. So what's going to happen? What I think would happen in this fight is that Khamzat Chimaev would put the forward pressure on Israel Adesanya. He would eventually catch him against the cage, shoot on him, and trip him, take him down, take his back, and it can very well happen. I'm not saying he can beat him. I'm saying it's very possible. But the thing with Khamzat Chimaev, the biggest question that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that he hasn't been a top 10 guy yet. The big test is Gilbert Burns right now. That fight is gonna give everyone the answer they need to know. Everyone is saying don't talk shit about Izzy, don't call people out if you haven't beaten a top 10 guy yet, which is absolutely true. I completely agree. I am 99% sure that Khamzat Chimaev is going to be a champion. I'm not 100% sure because this guy hasn't beaten a legit guy yet, a top 5, top 10 guy in the UFC welterweight division. You know, the welterweight division is one of the more stacked divisions in the UFC, and if he's able to maul Gilbert Burns like he has against every one of his opponents in his UFC and MMA career, it's very possible that this guy could beat Israel Adesanya. The reason I'm saying Israel Adesanya and not Kamaru Usman is because I think Khamzat Chimaev has an easier path to victory against Israel Adesanya than Kamaru Usman. The reason Kamaru Usman has not been taken down in his entire UFC career, he has a legit wrestling background. His path to victory is easier against Israel Adesanya because he would take him down, and Izzy is not as high level on the ground as he is on the feet. Kamaru Usman, you're not taking him down. It'd be very hard. If he was able to take down Kamaru Usman, that's a victory in itself. Kamaru Usman, his striking's only getting better. His wrestling's always going to be superior. It's probably the best in the UFC right now. If he runs through Gilbert Burns like he has all of his other opponents, like I said before, then I think he can beat Israel Adesanya. We all know that Khamzat Chimaev still has a lot of work to do before we can take this conversation of him versus Israel Adesanya very seriously, because he hasn't faced a top contender that can present a lot of problems to him and derail his hype train altogether. The great thing is Gilbert Burns is exactly that guy, which is exactly why you need to watch this video right here and find out exactly how that fight is going to go and find out why that fight is so crucial to the future of the welterweight division.